Hello, guys. This is Sai signing in, and we are here with another game. This one is called Encounter. Okay, so I don't know a lot about this game other than it might be about our stalker or something like that. You have a stalker? Well, but we'll just see how it goes, and see where this journey takes us. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day, and stay safe. You never know who is freaking watching, honestly. What is your name, old friend? Oh, we're old friends. My name is Sai. You despise your job. You always have. The moment you stepped foot into that building, you knew you would hate it. The rows of cubicles, the endless amount of caffeine needed to keep yourself awake is too much. What were you thinking? You could have become a scientist or a doctor, but no, here you are sitting at a desk all day, getting home, watching TV, going to bed, and waking up to do the same thing all over again. Today was a particularly daunting day. Your coworker and cubicle neighbor was taking a sick day to visit his aunt in the hospital. Heard she got into a nasty car accident and he needed to see her as soon as possible. Of course, you offered to do his work for the day he was absent, which was the day he had done you a couple of favors in the past, and you weren't planning on letting him down, as it's a stressful matter. And as happy as it made you to feel to have done your good deed of the day, staying hours after your usual shift was over, didn't leave you with the accomplished feeling you usually get after helping someone in need. Mm. Now you're finally home and you're hungry. I feel terrible and starving. At this point, anything is fine to eat. I don't have the energy to make a nice meal right now. You look through your pantry, realize that you, in fact, have no food. You feel a headache coming along, just another metaphorical tomato thrown at your face, you suppose. You grab your keys and your wallet before heading out of your apartment. Luckily, the nearest store is only a 5-minute walk away. Maybe the air will do you some good. You don't usually come to the store, as it is much smaller than your average supermarket. It's much closer though, and the air is nice. Walking did you some good. You decide to go and just do your usual shopping rather than buying just a quick meal. You'll be there anyway. Might as well. I kind of like the art style. I like the how the distorted colors. It's kind of cool. What is this? The bread section. You walk into the store, only now realizing how late it is. There is one person working the cash register and only about 4 other customers. One is already making their way to the exit. There's about 20 minutes until closing time. I should be done by then anyway. You walk into the first aisle, scanning the shelves of their different products, varying from pasta to cans of food. You aren't quite sure what you'll be getting, but this is a good aisle to start in. From the corner of your eye, you see a man wearing a uniform that the other employee at the cash was wearing, a pink apron with a white shirt as well as a red name tag. Oh, Jeremy, okay. The poor guy looked half asleep and familiar. You can't put your finger on it, but you've seen this man before, somewhere. You continue to stare at the man, a nagging feeling in your gut telling you that you know who this is. And that's when it hits you. Sai, is that you? Jeremy? Jeremy quickly makes his way to you. I can't believe it. I haven't seen you since sometime in high school. You can't believe it either. Your childhood best friend who moved away when you both were 16 suddenly appeared in your local grocery store. How have you been? Oh, how have you been, Sai? I've been as good as I can be. What about you? Well, stocking shelves is pretty relaxing and the store is never too busy, so I say I've been doing pretty good myself. This feels surreal. Your life has been so different since you last even spoke with him that you haven't even recognized him for a moment. It almost made you feel a little guilty. But who could blame you? People change over the years. His hair used to be shorter, but still as unkempt as it now. It was funny to see that that was a constant for him, despite how many years it had been. Suddenly, Jeremy holds out his arm, inviting you to a hug. Aw, just like old times. Accept the hug and silently give him a fist bump instead of for a handshake. So, no, give your freaking friend a hug. You ecstatically jump into his arm, feeling a rush of nostalgia. You didn't realize how much you missed your best friend until just now. Your instinctive enthusiasm caught him off guard. Laughter escapes from him. We haven't hugged in years. I almost forgot what it was like. Aw. Jeremy lets you go. Where have you been and when did you get back? I moved to the town next door with my mom to go live with her boyfriend at the time. I'm sorry. I completely lost your number and I was so busy after I moved. Plus, we slowly stopped talking right before I was expelled. Mm. Jeremy starts fiddling with his apron. I guess what I'm getting at is that I was too shy to reach out to you again after I moved. It happens. I moved back about 2 weeks ago. There was an apartment nearby looking for a roommate, so what made you move back? Jeremy goes quiet for a moment. Just family drama, that's all. You recognize those phrases as it was what he often used back when you were kids. There was always something going on, but he never elaborated on it more than that. He never let you come over either. Whenever you ask to hang out, he always shows the park or your own house. Now that you think of it, you've never seen the inside of Jeremy's childhood home, nor did you ever see his mother. You knew his father wasn't around, so it always had to do with his mother. You noticed Jeremy obvious discomfort of the situation. Maybe it would be better to switch subjects. So what high school did you transfer to after you got expelled? Oh, I actually dropped out after I moved. It was more convenient, you know? Hmm. Now, this took you by surprise. You always knew Jeremy as a hardworking and goal-driven individual. He was always the first person you paired up with for school projects because you knew you could always count on him. Even as little kids, he was always determined to win any game and in any competition you both would make. You would win most of the time, as he never been the athletic type, but even so, he was always determined to be number one. Plus, he never took a loss of heart, which was a quality most 8-year-olds didn't have at the time. Either way, it was almost unbelievable that he had given up on graduating. You could almost recall words for word the plans he had after high school. He couldn't wait to get on with life and do some great things. But now that you recall it, Jeremy started acting a little less determined the closer and closer he got to the point of him being expelled. What did he get expelled for, I wonder? You know, my mom and I were always a little tight on money. I kind of took it upon myself to help her. Her boyfriend wasn't the richest guy around either, so I just did what I had to do. Oh, that sucks. Like, a lot of people do end up like this, too. Jeremy lets Ali laugh. He wasn't the most pleasant guy either, so it was better being at work than at home with him. He seems to be fine with his past and current situation, but you can't help but feel a little bit bad for him. Yeah, it's sad. It's messed up. But like, some people just don't care about the well-being of their kid. They just think about themselves. I'm just like, why do you freaking have kids? Jeremy stops laughing when he reads your face. Hey, don't even worry about me, okay? Alright? You seem to be having very bad luck at conversational topics today. The conversation has gone quiet and it feels like you're here to head to the next aisle. I think I'll be heading to the next aisle now. I know you got your job to do. It was nice talking to you, though. Jeremy nods, straightening his apron. Of course, enjoy your shopping. Let me know if you need anything. And that was that. You moved on to the next aisle, leaving Jeremy behind. Oh, he looks kind of sad. You began looking at the lines and lines of food, but your mind is somewhere else. Who would blame you? You just bumped into someone you thought you would never see again. You find yourself thinking back to the time that you both had first met. It was a park nearby, a minute walk to your house, or 30 seconds for you since you were always too eager to get there. It was a nice park, adorned with squeaky swings and colorful slides. The wood chips would always get stuck in your shoes, and the sand from the sandbox would always be overflowing from kids throwing handfuls of it overboard. The other older kids would always be on the monkey bar, so you'll have to settle for the slides or the swings most of the time. That's when you met Jeremy for the first time. Honestly, when I went to a park as a kid, I used to always prefer the swings. I don't know. They're like the most fun to me. It was a week before first grade. After much pleading, your parents brought you to the park. You were having so much fun that you decided that paying attention to your surroundings wasn't a priority anymore. You actually ended up crashing into Jeremy, sending you both trembling to the floor. It completely knocked the wind out of you both. You, for one, thought the interaction was hilarious, so hilarious that you were too distracted laughing to notice you made the poor kid cry. Not because you hurt him, more because he just was really spooked. Only once your fit of laughter was finished did you notice the crying child next to you. Of course, you apologized, but he wasn't much of a talker. Well, he never was anyway, not unless he got to know you good enough. At first, he ran away from the park, out of which you could only imagine was embarrassment, but when school started and you both found each other in the same class, he stuck to you like a magnet. Nobody tried to speak to him, and nobody tried to speak to you, so things just worked out perfect. Of course, things changed once high school started. You feel like you're being watched. You looked over your shoulder to see a very suspicious looking grocery store worker. Once he noticed your gaze, he, in a very not casual manner, walks away. You continue looking at the shelves, deciding to ignore his random appearance. He could have just been doing his job because he works here. No need to overthink it. I mean, you can give him your number, like, catch up. You guys used to be really close friends. Like, why not catch up? You picked up a can, contemplating putting it in your basket, and you still don't know what you want to eat despite being in the store for a handful of minutes surrounded by food. You feel as if you're being watched again. You look over your shoulders a second time to find the same suspicious grocery worker staring at you again, rushing to the next hour once he is spotted for the second time. Oh, did you have something to say? I was just talking to him. I feel like she did say he used to be kind of shy and stuff. I'm like, okay, and this is typical Jeremy activity since, it's been a while since we talked to each other. So yeah, it's kind of awkward. So I'm gonna go like, hey, Jeremy, what's up? What do you want to talk about? You know you can be upfront with me. He looked as if he had something to say, but left before he could manage to get a single word out. Now you're feeling a little on edge. You put the can you were holding back on the shelf, picking up another one beside it. This time, Jeremy walks into the aisle, still leaving a good distance between the two of you. He stands still like a statue, not daring to move an inch nor make a single sound. He doesn't seem like he's going to speak anytime soon. Do you want some company, Jeremy? He's just doing his job. Can I help you? No, Jeremy, you want some company? He seems surprised by your question. Me, yeah. Aw, you're adorable. Jeremy takes this as the okay to come to talking distance with you instead of standing awkwardly on the other side of the aisle. There's just not that many people in the store, and it gets a bit boring, Does it now? You said before that you found it relaxing. Well, it's relaxing, but it's lonely. People don't usually ask for help. They just do their own thing, and I do mine, which is just stocking shelves pretty much. And I don't think my coworkers like me that much, so I'm really rarely talking to people around here. Aw, Jeremy. Jeremy looks a little bit sad as he mentioned that passing comment, but it isn't anything new. People have always disliked him for a reason you just can't figure out. Growing up, he was just like any other kid to you, but no matter what he did, he was always being picked on. You just chalked it up to him being quiet and awkward. He always had a hard time holding a conversation with someone unless it was you. I remember hearing one of them call me creepy the other day. Aw, Jeremy. Creepy? That was something new. You don't even remember Jeremy acting creepy ever. He was always a very respectable individual, and he never meant to be bothersome to anyone. If anything, whoever said that comment was being extremely harsh. That's all. I don't ever remember thinking you were creepy, just too shy for your own good. Really? Because I've been overthinking everything I do since then. It gets very tiring. Either way, I'm glad to have someone to talk to right now. Aww. Of course he was. He never asked for much either, ever. He was always oddly satisfied with whatever was given to him. He never once asked for more. It's probably a sign of like his growing up environment, honestly. And completely off topic, it dawns on you that you don't have any more frozen meals in your freezer back at the apartment. Although they aren't the fanciest thing out there, you gotta admit they're pretty convenient and not half bad once you know the good ones from the back. That's true. Like, but oh my goodness, like, small story time, not really a story time, but one time, like, I was in a phase was just trying out a bunch of different TV dinners. And I came across like this freaking macaroni chili TV dinner. And I was like, this is suspicious, but I really love macaroni and I really love chili. So maybe this is an abomination that transcends the taste buds. So I'm like, let me try this out and, just give it a chance. So like, I got the TV dinner. Macaroni and chili, it's basically hamburger helper at this point. So I'm like, it can't really go wrong, even if it doesn't, isn't the best. So I ate it. It was the abomination that it appeared to be. Like, it was not good. That's one thing I can say. It just was not hitting at all. Yeah. I know now not to try new, weird TV dinners like that. I usually just stick with, the ones that I know. But nowadays, I have gotten more used to cooking, so I don't really eat TV dinners like that. But that phase was something. Back to the story. Back to the game. Off topic, but do you have any good frozen food recommendation? I'm tired of buying the same ones. Okay, I have a great one. Just a note. There's this vegetarian lasagna that you can get. It's really good. I forgot the name of the company, but that's really good. And then the Hungry Man's, the one with the chicken, mashed potato with the brownie and corn. Those are freaking great. I remember just freaking loving those. Whenever I want to cook, those were freaking great meals. Frozen meals? Sure, I can name a few pretty good ones, in my opinion at least. Jeremy goes on to list a few off the top of his head, counting each one on his fingers, then he laughs. It's all I eat, honestly, so I got a lot of them memorized. It's all you eat? That's a little tiring, no? Jeremy shrugs at your question. It's better than anything I can cook anyway. Well, what about that time you brought those homemade cookies to school? Those were better than any restaurant cookies I've ever had. Your statement seems to amuse Jeremy, a smile coming back to his face. Baking and cooking are two different arts, Sai. It really is. I can cook. I can really cook. But baking is kind of a challenge for me. I don't know. Because, but the thing is, with baking is a science, You have to be very precise when it comes to following a recipe. But when it comes to just regular cooking, you can just, kind of eye it most of the time. If you're, familiar with, seasonings and recipes, you can just eye, when it comes to measurement most of the time. You don't actually have to measure a lot of stuff. But baking, you have to be precise. You turn back to Jeremy for a moment to ask him for directions to a certain aisle when your eyes locked on the stuff you don't remember him having. Your gaze was set on a scar going across his neck. Oh. It looked well-healed, meaning it wasn't really recent. Do you remember a rumor circulating from high school about the fight that happened? The one that got Jeremy expelled along with the other boy who participated in it. Everyone already knew about how one of the kids had brought a knife to the fight. That's crazy. Freaking public school be freaking wilding. But word had it that the guy who owned the knife actually used it to attack Jeremy sometime after the fight started. You always told yourself it wasn't true because you don't know what you would have done if it was. You were never able to see for yourself if the rumor were correct because you never saw him again. But now the proof was undoubtedly in front of you. It looked like someone had dug a knife along his throat, not deep enough to actually cause any very life-threatening danger, but enough to leave a mark for years to come. Jeremy knows where your eyes land. Anyone ever tell you that it's rude to stare? Oh, my bad, bro. Your eyes immediately dart back up to his, but then he laughs. I'm pulling your leg. It's not like I'm hiding it from anyone. The scar, I mean. I hide it. Can I ask what exactly happened in the fight? How about you tell me what you know first so I can fill in the blanks? You tell Jeremy what you know, the fact that the fight happened somewhere behind the school, he was cornered and someone brought a knife. No one knows exactly why the fight began. All that people knew was that it ended with Jeremy getting nicked in the throat. Is that all you know? No one knows how it started? No, just speculations. Jeremy chuckles again. I guess it doesn't matter why it started. It was an embarrassing reason to start a fight and definitely didn't merit a knife to my throat. What was it? Now you're making me suspicious. It doesn't seem he'll be revealing anything else about the fight reasons for starting. He knows his hand slipped into his pocket and he fibbles with something inside it as he speaks. I can't lie to you and say I wasn't scared, absolutely crapless though. Plus, it was after school and practically everyone was gone. No one could hear me yelling for help. Oh, I did learn I could throw a mean punch that day though, knocked one of the guys to the ground. It was an entire group against him. An unfair fight, especially when said group brings a knife to it. Are you alright? They had it coming then. Are you alright, bro? Me? Sure, I'm alright. Thanks for asking. I didn't tell you this to vent or anything. I just wanted to let you know the full story, you know? Oh, it's okay. But really, thank you for asking. It means a lot. With that, you turn back to a shelf once more. Continue to shop as you feel the conversation is nearing its end. You scan the aisles for a moment and Jeremy does the same. So, would it be rude if I asked what you do for work? Just an office job. Exactly what you're picturing in your head. Do you like your job then? Is it a bit enjoyable at the very least? It pays the bills. That's the important bit, huh? Suddenly your elbow knocks over a box and it falls to the ground. Let me get that for you. He bends down to grab the box when something else clatters to the floor out of Jeremy's pocket. Is that what he was fumbling with while he was talking to me? I feel lies in front of you. Something that you are 110% sure he is not allowed to have on him. Jeremy immediately picks it up and shoves it back into his pocket. Make sure you, like, close it so you don't get freaking nicked or stab yourself in the side. You just freaking put that thing in your pocket? Oh my goodness, Jeremy, be careful. The fact that he immediately went to hide it makes him seem even more guilty. I'm allowed to have it, I swear. I'm not allowed to have it. So let's keep this between you and me, okay? Why do you need it for? I need to tell someone about this. That's the danger. Bro, I don't care. I mean, he got freaking attacked. Maybe he's just overly cautious because, like, that whole accident happened. He got to get almost stabbed in the neck, okay? I'm not gonna judge you. Why do you need it for? Are people out to you? I guess I'm a bit paranoid. Makes sense. As I was saying before, it makes sense. This job was hard enough to get. If anyone finds out I'm carrying this, I'll be fired. I got enough warnings, and this will be the tipping point. And it makes me feel better having it on me, just in case. You feel unsafe? You're being challenged and immature, whatever, I don't care. Well, at least the response. You feel unsafe, bro? I guess I do feel a bit uneasy sometimes. And it's not like it's a gun, just let this go. Please tell me you'll let it go. You consider it for a moment. I won't say anything. Jamie lets out a breath of relief, taking his hand out of his pocket and collapsing it with his other. Thank you, Sai. I mean it. I really, really, really do. I'm sorry if I freaked you out a bit there. Suddenly, a woman speeds down into the aisle straight towards Jeremy. You, help me find something before this store closes. Sure thing, madam. Before either of you can speak, the woman storms off and Jeremy follows reluctantly. As you watch them leave, you realize the store really is about to close. You pay for your things at the cash register and leave Jeremy completely out of your mind. You hear someone running close behind you, but when you turn around, whoever was there is gone. You turn back around and keep walking back to your apartment. You get to your door. You unlocked everything you unpacked everything you brought, putting things in your respective spots. Your arms are sore from walking with all the bags you brought. Quickly, you make yourself a meal and eat it hungrily. You put away your dishes before you get ready for bed. Finally, you tiredly collapse onto your bed, phone in hand. You stare up at the ceiling, allowing yourself to finally unwind after a stressful day. Suddenly, your phone chings up. Upon further inspection, the notification is actually a new follower, something that struck you as odd. Your account consists of pictures of you with your family and friends, and the new follower had a name you didn't recognize as someone you knew. You clicked on their profile, but the name Simon is the only thing displayed on it. The account was made today. They don't seem to be following anyone besides you, nor were they followed by anyone. The profile picture was still the default image, and you really couldn't tell who it was. You decide not to worry about it and put your phone down. Ignore it and check it out. You pick up your phone again to see more notification from Simon account. that was before. You see the account eagerly interacting with yours, liking all of your recent posts as well as adding positive comments underneath them. Suddenly, you get a direct message from Simon. Simon, seeming eager to speak with you, expressed his excitement about a band you had a shirt in one of the photos he saw on your page. You two talked for a few minutes. It's nice. But finally, you put your phone down and get some rest. Bro, why? That has to be him. That has to be Jeremy. Why you freaking a whole fake name? Just talk to me like normally. Don't be weird. But finally, you put your phone down and get some rest. The next few weeks go by as usual. Same office job, same schedule, same subway ride on. The only difference now is that you seem to have made a friend with this Simon. You two would talk frequently, and you began to find yourself awaiting his replies eagerly at times. Embarrassing, maybe, but it did make your day less dull. Then one day you get home and notice your window wide open. At first you thought nothing of it until you remembered your apartment was on the first floor, meaning anyone could have gotten in it if they wanted to. You look around briefly, but everything looked as it should be. Nothing of value is missing either. But then you notice a paper sitting on your kitchen counter that you are sure you didn't leave there. Read its content. Hello. Thought I'd stop in and say hi, but you weren't here. You haven't told Simon about any of your personal information. I'm moving. I'm out of here. I'm leaving. I'm going to a hotel. Listen. I'm grabbing quickly what I need. Wait, first thing I'm doing, I'm calling my friend, my mom, anyone. I'm calling someone, having them on the phone as I pack up my stuff. I'm like, I'm scared. I'm going to a freaking hotel and I'm moving out as soon as possible. I'm like, I'm not staying in this apartment anymore. I refuse. You immediately informed the authorities and an investigation began, but there was no current leads. You were left in suspense for the foreseeable future as to how this could have happened. After the investigation began, things settled down. Simon's account was practically wiped out of existence or to your and the authorities' dismay. For a while, it was okay, but then things in your apartment began to go missing. Things would be misplaced. Sometimes your chores seemed to do themselves, nor maybe you're just forgetting that you did them. Listen, why would you stay there? Why would you freaking stay there? Like, I don't understand. Sometimes you hear footsteps at night. Maybe you're hearing things. No, you're not. Those reassurances don't change the fact that you're paranoid. You're not freaking paranoid. You need to freaking be more paranoid and leave this house. Then there's a new note, and another, and you just stay there. Just stay there. Okay, you're freaking crazy. Honestly, you know what happens at this point. You're just asking for it. Ending for you frantically look around for any signs of Simon in your apartment, but he is nowhere to be found. The note continued. Every week a new note is left mysteriously in your home, each more threatening than the other. You make sure to lock all of your windows, but somehow Simon continues to enter. You request a lock chain, which is granted. A month passes by without any other issues, and you slowly begin to live your life as once did, unafraid to leave your house. Then somehow, against all odds, a new note appears on your fridge. Miss me? I just want to say, MC is bugging. Bro, if someone is breaking into your house, cleaning, doing your laundry, watching your freaking dishes, leaving you notes, and you're just like the random person you added online, something doesn't feel right here, okay? There's something obviously amiss here. But like, Jeremy, why you gotta be a whole weirdo? Jeremy, couldn't you just like ask for my number, we reconnect, we hang out, you know? Can we just be normal? Well, I don't know. Jeremy, like, he went through a lot of stuff, so it's just what happens to some people, sadly enough. But yeah, that was Encounter. Interesting little game. I liked it. It was I feel bad for Jeremy, but like I feel like I could have helped him, honestly. He just said he was going through a rough time that turned into some obsessive tendencies with like everything that was happening. But But yeah, that was Encounter. I hope you all enjoy. And I don't have much to say other than I hope to see you guys in my next video. And this was Sai signing in, and this is Sai signing out. Bye bye.